Hello, hello. I'm Clément, lead marketing manager for Aleph Cloud, and today I'm with Moshe. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yep. Hello. Well, I'm the founder of Aleph Cloud. So most of you guys and ladies should know me, I guess. I'm Jonathan, also known as Moshe. So,
Okay. Then after we have Claudio, who is the co-founder of Aleph Cloud. Claudio, if you want to introduce
still
yourself.
the intern.
Intern in chief.
Mainly busy with everything that has to do with production, the product part of things, and what has to do with the team and everything around it.
Okay. And last, Gan, please, if you want to give a few words about you, because Gan is the newbie. So
the intern, like Claudio mentioned. So I'm excited to be here, guys. Business development, joined recently. And yeah, hope for the best, guys.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we have like a pretty diverse team from tech to product to BD and marketing. So this first AMA, well, it's all about answering the community question because the last weeks we announced some new features that are not live already, but it will be live in in September and October. We are in August right now, and I'd like to answer all the questions from the community. So first of all, we are going just to answer each question one by one, and then after. Maybe we can discuss more about what we are doing, what we are building, what we are going to ship. And if you have any question in the chat, please feel free to write them, and we will answer them. So first of all, let's start with a question, a very simple question: how the community can help grow the project. So before I assign this question to someone, I will just start by myself because this is some kind of a community marketing / everything related to the growth of the company.
Honestly, I think that this question is for you, to be honest.
It is a very important question because we need more than anything else the community to support us, to spread the word, to onboard the, friends, relatives, network, whatever. And for that, we have like very simple, there's very simple stuff to do for that. For example, if you like to write some short threads on Twitter or LinkedIn, for example, or Reddit, just to talk about your experience, if you're either an investor, if you are a builder, developer, whatever, it's always good to share what you're doing and why you are here. Just to let know people what it's like to be inside Aleph. Then after, if you're a bit more, let's say, professional, if you're like more strong skills regarding content creation, well, you can build like short videos, for example, or even some tutorials. This is something that has already been done by some of our community members, by developers that were explaining how to build, for example, a node, on Aleph Cloud, or even Claudio built a Bitcoin node and like stored it on the network. So this is the kind of good content that is needed and will be obviously amplified by us, because it's really, really worth it to explain to the whole community and beyond what it's like to use Aleph. Then after, if you're a professional in the tech industry, or even if you use, if you use Aleph for your company, you might want to share it with some of our network that might be interested into an alternative to the big players right now. This is something that we have seen recently, that more and more, let's say, traditional player wants to dig into alternative solutions such as us, such as Aleph Cloud. So yeah, feel free to talk about it to your network, whether it is online or offline. It's a good start, and you can even share it with us so we can amplify it. If any of you guys wants to add something on top of that, please.
Yeah, I think you touch base really important points. I will add to it that any recommendation from the community regard products, whatever you have that we can improve and implement for the long term and also short term, it's super relevant, and we appreciate, let's say, also criticize. So feel free to touch base on it and give us feedbacks on the go for people who use it or that just like to learn more and don't have missing points, or they need more information and they don't see this information out there. So it will be super relevant for us to improve on that stage as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's start with the very hard question. So how would you describe the company overall health, both financially and competitively within the current market landscape? So maybe Moshe, you want to start with that?
Yeah, well, the thing is that there is a difference between the token itself and the company. I think that's where there is a little bit of confusion. The company, which is Aleph.im SAS, which is a French entity, which is the emitter of the token legally. This company is a software editor. I don't think that it directly affects what the community sees and the community interacts with. What everyone interacts with is with a decentralized network, which is based on an open source software that is developed by this company in the end. The token itself is the token of the network and allows you to interact with this network, and with what is coming with the credit system, etc. We will discuss more about it in this AMA. With this credit system, the main point is that this token is at the heart of the whole economy, even more than with what we had with the pay-as-you-go system, etc. And so financially, we still have funding. If that's the question, we are still good. In terms of competitive landscape, that's where the credit system is really critical for us, because what we saw in the last few years is that any kind of friction, we lose customers. And when you lose customers, that's critical for a startup. That's that's even more critical for a decentralized network, because we are starting with huge barriers to entry. People don't want to deal with crypto. We might think that crypto is good, etc. That's us. That's what our community think that works. But the reality is that businesses, they don't want like deal with it. Not at start. Perhaps later they will be able to like see past that, but how to get them in? And that's where a system where you can just buy credits, like just like cloud credits, like when you have credits on AWS, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, whatever, you don't care about what is behind. You just pay with a credit card and you basically don't care. That's the same kind of of use that we want to have on the network. Like you can pay with credit card, you can pay with fiat, you can pay with stable coins, with Aleph, whatever. Under the hood, our whole system will like take care of it, convert into Aleph, burn a little part, and send all the Aleph tokens to like those who will actually produce stuff like computing resource nodes, storage resource nodes in the future, and some part as a network fee going for the core channel nodes. Because the goal of the core channel nodes is to control the network, check that everything works, that we have a database that is properly replicated, that everyone knows which data should be where, etc. And so if all of this works, which will be the case soon with the credit system, we will be able to like lower the whole incentive system that we have currently. Currently, we have an incentive pool that is limited because the Aleph supply is limited by design. This incentive pool will deplete over the years. The idea is for us to like lower this incentive pool in the end and to have mostly credits. Like when you request a virtual machine, for example, you will say, okay, I want this virtual machine with one of this CPU, X gigabyte of RAM, etc. You will buy credits either by using Aleph and you will have a discount if you pay in Aleph, or with stablecoin, credit card, etc., etc. Then you have those credits and you can spend them. I want to spend them on this server. What happens then is that the computing resource node that is providing this server, even if it doesn't have pay as you go or anything like that, because we are going to like even deprecate the pay as you go. Everything will be pay as you go with the credit system. Then this computing resource node will get your payment, and then those credits will be converted into real Aleph for you. And then there is the part that goes to the core channel nodes, etc. We will still have incentives because people who have nodes can't run if there is no demand, and we still need incentives. So for that, we will have grant programs with school, students, etc. And that's where the business development part take place. And there is Gan here who is our lead of business development, who joined us a little bit ago. He will be able to like explain the whole business development strategy at Aleph. But the whole thing is that we want to convert incentive into real usage. And at start, perhaps this real usage can also be led by incentives. Like if students want to have a big project, whatever, we can incentivize their computing. And you will still be paid to do work and not just to have servers sitting idly waiting for demand. That's the whole thing about the network, how our strategy is going right now. I hope it wasn't too high of a complexity or that I spoke too much. If you have questions about that, feel free to like ask them in the chat, and we can even unmute you if you want to like speak there later.
Yes, you didn't speak too much. What key features or improvements for instances are being prioritized in the near term? Moshe still?
Okay. So as I said, for me, it's the credit system, like not only pay as you go. with like on-chain stream but credit system. In the end, it means that any node, even if it doesn't have a specific key for pay-as-you-go, etc., all the payments, to be clear, all the payments of the credit system will come through the current mechanism of distribution every 10 days. So like you will also receive all the usage-based tokens every 10 days along with the rest. And so this is one big feature. Another is IPv4 that is being rolled out. I saw that there was a few issues here and there. We will try to iron them out as soon as possible. Then there is GPUs. Also, yeah, one very important thing. I know that there isn't a lot of GPUs right now on the network because payment is made based on Aleph quotes because it's on the pay-as-you-go. Once we go on the credit system, payments will be done in credits, which will be aligned in fiat prices. So either USD or Euro, mostly USD, like you will be able we will have default prices, and you will also be able in the future to like define your own prices. Let's say you have some GPUs, you don't want to sell them for less than, I don't know, $1 per hour per GPU. You will be able to like set that in your settings for your nodes and say, okay, this GPU, it's at least $1 per hour. I don't want to like be paid less. And so when people choose to like rent your GPU, they can see your price and accept or not your prices. And it won't be only in Aleph, so that you can really be profitable by selling GPUs on the network on your own term. It also means that there can be competition. Like if someone else set up servers cheaper, they can get your workload if people are willing to like switch. But it's the whole point of that. So like for me, that's one big area of improvement. That IPv4, and that's the main thing for instances that will be in the near future. Also, full support for SCV, SNP on the confidential. That's on the works. It means that you will also be able to like do attestations inside your confidential instances to prove that it's really in a confidential instance.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. So still speaking about the GPUs, is there a roadmap to onboard more GPUs into the network to support scaling demand? So it's kind of part of what you said, but right now, so do we have like do we have like a real plan to onboard more GPUs?
Yep, we do. GAN is at the forefront of that discussing with a lot of GPUs providers. We were talking about it right now in our chat. So yes, there is, and we are working on it. And credit system is the key for that because they don't want to be paid in prices that can vary, that can have a lot of variation. They need to be paid in USD equivalent, which makes sense.
So let's say that if anyone have any requirements for specific GPU set, is more than welcome to share it with us. We'll be happy to look at it and start to provide those GPUs ASAP.
Yeah, also, if you guys, like, if anyone from the community has requirements, specific requirements for GPUs and how much they are okay to pay, that can be useful also for us for negotiation of prices with providers so that they can provide it at the price that is okay for you. And so, because if they set it at price is too high and no one will take it, that's bad as well for them. So like, if anyone has exact demands, just tell us in private, and then we will check with those providers so that they can align on prices on what they provide on the network.
Perfect. So let's switch on something a little bit more BD related. So how is the team approaching onboarding of startups, and are there any notable partnerships project perhaps still under the radar that you can share? for the record, we do not share in advance something that has not been signed. But again, maybe if you want to talk about this specific point.
Yes, so I will start with the credit system that we introduced, and Moshe just introduced it. So we do it also for the reason that it's going to help us to map out the industry. So it will be basically will allow us to open new doors for Web2 clients, which wasn't really available back then. And our perspective of it will allow us to monitor and kind of improve our services, and also to see who use what and how we can improve or delegate more support to them in order to keep them in our circle. Another effort we're basically doing now is pushing a lot of areas with accelerator program, incubator, and hackathons around the world. For example, we just collaborated with IF Global, and we distributed to the top hackathons member there credits to try and basically get to know better Aleph Cloud in order to basically in the future build a project or a company on top of us using a decentralized network. So this is something we're looking forward, and it's a long-term strategic that we are trying to do in order to basically eventually convert them into a fully user on Aleph. And we have also channels that we're starting to do together with Clement in terms of marketing in order to start kind of do more brand awareness on LinkedIn and outreach on LinkedIn for Web2 companies to start be prepared for the credit system. So we're looking forward to it as well. And hopefully we'll see some result in the short term and long term on that regard.
Correct. Also, we are, because it's something that has been a long time asked, to work with more content creators, etc., etc. We are trying to onboard the perfect fits. You have to know that it is very difficult to get some people that are professional enough to talk about your product, test and try your product without just shilling it to their community. I know that some people in our community wants that, just talk about the token and blah, blah, blah. But we are not aiming to just talk about the financial aspect of that, not just the token. We want to talk about the whole solutions, what we provide, and how this address new perspective for the builders. So still trying to find out the perfect person for that. If you have like any let's say any content creators you like, you want us to reach out, feel free to share them, and we'll contact them. But this is on the good track to happen more and more often. Also, we are doing that in-house. We are working on content, more video content creation in-house, and should be live within weeks. So this was for more onboarding. So there is this tricky but funny question: how to increase the value of the token? Moshe?
Sorry.
The question was how to increase the value of the token.
Okay. Honestly, technically, that's a question that is a bit tricky because that's technically not our direct job. Our direct job is to provide a network that works, that has a lot of users, and that provides value to nodes and users. That's our real work. Like our success is if we have millions of users on the network and millions of virtual machines, servers, etc. So if that happens, like price of the token will likely reflect that, because with a low value, the network can't work. So technically it's offered and demand. So that's the only way that can work in the long run. As Kevin said, like shilling influencers, etc., that only works in the short term. We are here for a long time. A lot of projects that were there in 2020, even 2029 when we started, are not there anymore. There is no team, there is no one behind, they just collapsed. We are not just on altcoin there for a season, whatever. We are there for the long term. We want the network to work. We have a mission, and our mission is to have a real decentralized cloud live, and to decentralize the whole world of cloud computing and have it working in a non-censorable manner on the global. Obviously, if there is bad content, it will be censored by nodes, which is totally normal. You don't want illegal stuff on your node. But if anyone accepts it on the network, it should be on the network, just like the internet. So that's the main goal and the main mission of the company, is to have a real decentralized cloud of the company and of the project, obviously. And so that's my goal as well. So we are here for the long term. We are here to like have that mission fulfilled, and won't stop until it's the case. And if it's the case, token price, like as I said, it's directly linked to like the success of all that, because of offer and demand. If there is a lot of people buying credits, it will buy Aleph on the market. If there is a lot of people having servers, etc., then obviously it's sell pressure. But if the pure incentive pool part goes down and it's only driven by usage, then this sale pressure as well vanishes from the network. To give you a bit of a fun thing, when we started talking about this new tokenomics and the credit system, I started looking at my university courses, which were on macroeconomics. And back then we were doing what we call tableau d'entrée-sortie, which is input-output spreadsheets. And back then it was even on paper at the university. It was pretty fun. You need to like equilibrate everything. Basically, on the network side of you, incentives are debt, because it goes out of the economy of the token itself. What we need to have is more inputs in the economy, and more inputs is more users, and that's where the business development part take places. Because just influence or whatever, it's also debt, because it goes out later. Real economy needs to work with inputs and outputs, and you actually have the GDP to like see how an economy is working. I think that that virtual economies like the one of Aleph should also be measured by that in the end.
Okay, that's a pretty good sum up. I think we've run out of questions from the community. So maybe if you'd like, we can discuss a little bit of the new tokenomics, not in details, but this is something I know it's quite asked. It was asked in the past. So we are planning to revamp some of our tokenomics, and yeah, maybe we can give more, generally speaking, information about it, if you're okay with that. So in terms of new features slash improvement updates, can you share some specific points of our new tokenomics?
By the way, I just unmuted people from the community who joined. So like, if you want to ask questions, feel free as well. You can unmute yourself and talk. So this question, for who is it, Clément?
Think you can understand, maybe you can understand, sorry, you can answer. Maybe Claudio, if you want to add some a couple of information, because he's on the product side of it, but otherwise, yeah, you can talk. I mean, you can talk about it within the window of shareable content, shareable information.
Well, for me, I like shared quite a lot, yeah. but
no, I think Moshi is the best one to answer this. No, I think you're the best one to answer this, because I will probably share too much.
Well,
but on the product side of things, most of the things happening on the new tokenomics sites, the credit system takes a whole a bunch of that. The credit system takes most of that, but I think on the front end side, most of those things won't be that visible, except what has to do with the credit system. So, but Moshi already touched a little bit about it, what's happening in the background of the tokenomics with the new flows that are set up. But I think Moshi is the best to talk about that, because he envisioned it, and we are working on it.
So yeah, most important part is actually the fact that the incentive pool direct addition and the current values are going to change and become lower with time, and we will grow based on usage. So like, if you get some amount and some yield for your staking, it will come from direct usage of the network as a percentage. Whenever you spend 100 on a virtual machine, for example, I believe that there is 70 or something like that goes 70 or 80. I don't remember the final numbers. We need to verify. I'm already saying too much. There is a part that goes to the computing resource node that is actually providing the resource. Some part is going to like the core channel nodes and the stakers. Some little part is burnt, and some little part goes towards the development of the product, paying developers, etc., etc. We really want to make the network self-sustainable with these new tokenomics, and that's what we are working on. And then if there has to be incentives, like let's say rewards are not high enough for CCNs, whatever in the future, then we can onboard more students, more like, the thing is that when we are giving away grants, when we are giving away free credits, just like AWS gives away a lot of credits, but it's their own computers. Here, it's your computers from the community where we're actually providing this service. So like we are giving away free cloud computing on your computer, which is problematic in the end, except if we remove this incentive part, because this becomes the whole incentive system. And then we can scale up or down incentives that we're giving away in your name to like developers. Like if we are going to see a new startup, we can give them a few months of free compute if they build the whole system on top of Aleph. And this can replace some part of the incentives. You are still getting incentives, but they go through work that your server is doing. And that's quite interesting because in the end, we really aim to like strive to like get to like some kind of the same amount of money that you are getting, but with real usage instead of just incentive just for being there. So like that's the main point of the new credit system, is that doing BD through this incentive, trying to onboard students, trying to onboard developers, trying to onboard startups, etc. Because once you start using it and it works, you won't move it, especially if prices is totally okay. And that's what we strive to do, and that's what we are trying to do with our BD strategy and with these new tokenomics, like remove the just blunt incentives, just giving away tokens from inflation, and giving away incentives that are well thought of through specific programs. We follow up from someone from the team, checking out, are there issues, can we help, you stopped one server, why, what happened, etc., etc. Because the truth is that Web2 companies are doing it right now, and we need to get on the same level of Web2 cloud companies if we want to like compete. Because if we don't, we won't get customers because they are really good at what they do. So we really need to get on the same level and start providing real support, real stuff that work, and even be cheaper because it's on a Web3 cloud. Because censorship resistance is not enough for a lot of companies. They need to like see something that is interesting for them. So like the fact that it's a decentralized network, it can never go down. So this is really good for them. It needs to be cheaper because there is competition. That's you from the community, and we will add ways for you to compete between each other in the long run. Perhaps not at start of the credit system because we want to stay, or we say ISO functionality on both ends, but in the end, we will add more and more ways for nodes to compete between themselves, lower prices, or get better hardware, because you can have a higher price if you have a better hardware, which makes sense. And if it's based on that as well, if you put huge servers, it will work. Because with the minimum wage system that we have today, it's an incentive to like stay at the bare minimum. While if you are paid for the workload that you can support, you will start putting more powerful machines because it makes sense.
All right. Okay. I think we've talked pretty much about anything regarding what's going on to happen in the next weeks. Just to summarize everything a little bit, so there's a new strategy implemented to onboard more small, like very small, medium companies on our end. We are shifting a little bit from from very Web3 crypto companies to more traditional companies because there is a high demand there. So we are targeting these kind of corporate companies with GAN. The new credit system is getting revamped alongside the tokenomics that should be live in a couple of months, let's say. And
we will roll out those in phases as well.
So okay, so
with BD having the priority on this one, and then moving it forward to the UI for the users and the community as well.
Perfect. So Yeah, thank you everyone for attending this first AMA. We are going to release it on YouTube as well. So if you didn't had the possibility to join today, well, you can hear it now. And yeah, see you soon.
One thing before everyone leaves, like if people from the community have questions, we can take them as well. I unblocked everyone, so like you can just unmute yourself and ask if you have a question.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I have a question. I think it's a question that quite some community members maybe want an answer on. It's when moon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, sorry. That was a joke. No, I have a question.
Energy.
Sorry. No, I have a question about the what I'm noticing is that a lot of community members and new investors, when they start up a new CCN node, they have a lot of difficulties having to find stakers to reach the 500K minimum threshold to become active. And I just maybe as a suggestion for you guys, maybe to look into that, to find like a way to have that more streamlined or more easier process for people to get 500K stakers, because I see a lot of nodes that have passed 1 million tokens staked on it, and still it seems that a lot of people are not willing to unstake on those nodes to go and stake on nodes that are still not active. And for example, for me personally, I had 2 nodes, but I had to shut down one because I was waiting for, I think, almost 2 months to have it staked to reach 500K, but it just wasn't possible. I was every day asking people, please, can you please stake? So maybe suggestion to maybe look into that also, trying to find a solution that works maybe. That's my question.
Okay, well, that's a good question. Thank you, Bucha. So, well, I agree with that. I agree that it's an issue. In the past, some big stakeholders were working together to like move stakes, etc. It stopped. We should restart that on one hand, and on the other hand, perhaps find a way to make it less problematic to stake on a new node, because that's true that right now when you stake on a new node and it doesn't get staked, you can lose a part of your stake. Perhaps we should work on that and change the way the rewards are done. So we'll work on that. You're right. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
All right. So we can wrap it up. Thank you very much, everyone. And yeah, we will see you for the next AMA in 2 weeks.